Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Do Bonsai. I'm Scott Winard. Today is Saturday the 12th of March, and we've got an extra workshop on at the South Yorkshire Bonsai Society. So I'm just getting ready to head off up to the meeting. Hopefully we can capture some other people's trees and what they're working on, if that's not too intrusive. But I've decided to take the white pine that I've got, the Picea Glauca I believe it is. I've walked past it time and time again, and I'm undecided of what approach to take with it. So I'm thinking, if I let the guys at the society have a look at it and give me some input and hopefully give me some ideas as to what we can do with it. I'll show you what it looks like now, and then hopefully you'll see it during the day, and then we'll have a look at it again a little bit later on this afternoon. So here it is. It's not changed too much from when we gave it its repot back in the a couple of years ago. I did just clear up a bit of the soil underneath, and I can see where we put the mycelium in, there's a good layer of fungi underneath, so that'll be helping the pine work and do well. So I don't think we'll be looking at doing any sort of repotting, but it'll be nice to get some sort of styling on this tree. We will lose some of these branches more than likely, but we need to work out what style we can make. So we'll get off to the society meeting now, and when we come back later on this afternoon we'll have a look and see where the pine is at, and also we'll have a little look at the goodies that I got from last week's boot sale, the Bonsai Experience in Doncaster. So we're back from the South Yorkshire Bonsai Society's workshop. Thoroughly enjoyable morning, just worked into the afternoon. Yeah, all good. Some good chats, some good discussions, and finally a bit of an idea of what to do with that pine. So this is what the pine looks like now. It's a lot smaller, it's a lot compact. We got rid of a lot of the long leggy branches that were coming off it. There's still too many at the junctions, so you can see we've got the main trunk coming off, and we've got 1, 2, 3 branches coming off of that main trunk, so we've got 4 at that point really. And then up the top here we removed a couple of larger branches, we brought in a new leader, and then created a branch off the side there which we may or may not keep. We turned up all the growing ends so that they can capture the sun. So this will now go outside, and it will sit and enjoy the day-to-day weather, whether it rains, whether it's sunny, whether it's not, and we'll just see how it grows throughout the summer. I'm hoping that we get a bit more back budding further back, so maybe these branches can be brought back. We just don't know until we let it grow on. So I was quite well behaved last week at the Bonsai Experience in Doncaster, the boot sale. I did buy a few things. I got a large bag of lava rock from Harry Harrington. I'm so happy that he brought a good few bags of the lava rock, because I keep trying to get it, and every time I get it it's oversized. But we'll sift some of that into our bonsai soil shortly. But I went to a stall which is run by David Cheshire's Nurseries Limited. They're based in Coventry. The website is, I'll put it down below as well, but it's all the w's.davidcheshirenurseries.co.uk. He's a very helpful individual, David. He's really good, really nice. Myself and John Pugh stood for ages in front of his stall, to the point where I thought, well, I suppose I better buy something. So I got this quince. This is a Japanese quince chojobai. We're going to pot that into a pot shortly. We've got a cork bark Japanese black pine there, so we'll get that into something so it can grow on. And then this grows really quickly, I'm led to believe. They're very small leaved, but very fast growing, and they're a dwarf elm. They get a corky bark, and like I say, they have the very, very small leaves. And the branches are very neat. So what we're going to do with that one is pot it into a bit of a bigger pot, and then we'll allow it to grow on. This we're going to allow to grow for about maybe 3 to 4 years. We'll take some of the branching back probably as we go along, but in about 3 or 4 years this trunk will be much bigger. I was surprised at the ones that I was looking at that were 4 years old, and if we grow this in the same fashion, so put this in a slightly bigger pot for it to grow, and then an even bigger pot, and then a bigger pot, and then we'll attack it, take it back, and start working on it as a bonsai. But this will be a long-term, just watch it grow and see how we go. So I've got this slightly larger pot. I've put a bit of soil into the bottom, so we'll just take our dwarf elm out of this pot, and you can see it's got lots of roots growing around there, so that's really good. And we'll just drop that into its new pot. We'll just knock a little bit of the soil off the top, let it fall around, just so we can see how deep it's planted to. And then we'll just take our bonsai soil and fill in around the edges. So it's retaining all its roots, all its original soil. We're not, you know, there's no root work to do on this at all. It's just literally grow it on, and it will probably last 6 months to a year at least in this pot, and if it really does grow, then we may plant it on, but this is to try and help thicken the trunk of this, because at the moment obviously you can see it's extremely thin, and there's a lot of growing for this to do. I'll just come in with Harry's watering can here and just deliver a good amount of water to this tree. Soak this soil thoroughly through. This is a little baby Hawes watering can. I bought two slightly different shapes. They're plastic, and they have little brass roses on the end, and you know, if you don't want too much watering to be done, they're really nice and good, get the job done. But if you're doing lots of watering, you might be better off with a slightly different system. But just for this will do absolutely fine. So this is soaking thoroughly through. It's not coming out at the bottom of the pot yet. It should do well in this bonsai soil. This bonsai soil is equal parts of perlite, akadama, pumice, and there's some bark in there, some reptile bark. I bought some. A lot of it is quite chunky and needs cutting down, but I was able to sift the bag and get out the larger bits. I'll show you those. So these are the larger bits, and my thoughts are I'm going to chop these up. I might get something like a herb cutter and roll it backwards and forwards and just cut these, or you know, a pair of scissors or something, and sit there mundanely chopping it as best I can. But obviously at that size they'd be far too big for the bonsai pots. So now that that's watered through, we can get that outside and growing on for the rest of the seasons. For the pine, that also wants to be in a slightly bigger pot, and I've got this this pot, and it's got a hole in the bottom so the water drains into the saucer. So we're going to do a similar thing. We'll just drop it into this pot and let it grow on and see where we get to in over the spring and summer. If we just get it out of the pot and see what we've got in the way of roots. I think it's been coming out of the bottom here. It's tied itself in a little bit. Oh yes, there's a multitude of roots in the bottom of there, really good. We'll just pop that into the pot and knock the top layer of soil down again, just so we can hopefully see a bit of where the rooting goes to. There's a slight kink in the bottom of the trunk there, and a little bit back again, so that could be interesting going forward. But we'll push that in and down, and then we'll just put a top layer of our bonsai soil on. And we'll just come in with our little watering can again. And that will quickly flow out the bottom of this pot. Now we'll probably look to do something with this pine more towards autumn sort of time, its candles are extending and stuff, so we don't want to be interrupting its growth pattern at the moment, so we'll just get that outside and let that carry on growing. So if you have a quick look at this quince, it's a nice little tree, looks nice and healthy. We'll see what roots are on there and we'll see what we can get it into. You can see it's already been pre-wired and twisted, so it'll hopefully, you know, grow in a nice pattern and do well. So if we just take this out and see what we've got, a lot of soil on the top, and then the root starts all the way down here, which is fine. I did have a little pot with the idea to put in, so you know, we might get lucky and it will go in that pot. We don't want to agitate it too much, but we will go at it to a degree. And we can see we've got all this nice root to work with. And I was thinking of this little blue pot here to put it in, so just have a little flick of the roots and see what we've got, and we'll either try and get it into this little blue pot, which I don't think it's going to be ideal now that we've got this many roots to go with, because I don't want to chop any of the roots off at all. And obviously if we put them in, we're going to be cramming them into no sort of radial style at all, but they're not really in a radial style, so I think we'll get them into a slightly bigger pot and pull those roots out in as much of a radial fashion as we can, and then it'll grow a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger, hopefully. There's barely no root on one side, and then over this side there's loads. Now we do have an old trusted pot here that I've potted a few things in, and things tend to do well. So if we have a look at this, get a bit of a drainage screen in, pop a layer of soil on, and then see where we can put our roots, and we can certainly send them outwards away from the, so they're not underneath the plant. And I think we could probably go with it at that and allow the roots to flow out. We'll see what it looks like with our bonsai soil added in. It does look a little bit lost in this pot, but it's got all those roots flowing around inside the pot. I'm not too concerned about front and how it fully looks. Just need to get plenty of our soil in and around it, and then we can let it grow on. We'll come in with a bit of water. This water's nice and warm. It's been in this grow room, and it's got nice and toasty in here when the door was closed. We'll give that a full water in, and then it can go on the side and hopefully carry on growing and doing well throughout the spring and the summer. Again, these were from David Cheshire's stall. I'll put the link in the bottom in the description. And once again, he's a really nice guy. He was full of advice and opinions, and you know what we should and shouldn't do, etc. And hopefully this will grow on and look like some of the larger ones that he had. He had them at all different age ranges, from little saplings, pre-bonsais, all the way up to well into training, up to larger ones. And I'm sure on his website it'll all be the same. So that's all flowing through, and there's absolutely loads of room in that pot for these roots to grow and get established. We got them flowing out to this side, none really going out to that side, but if some develop, they've got plenty of room to go and get established. We'll put the name tag back on just so that I don't forget what it is. I shouldn't do, but you never know, do you? So that'll go out into one of the little alcoves to be protected from the wind, but it will start getting the day-to-day weather. So that's going to do it for this episode of Let's Do Bonsai. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. As always, get out there and make the best of the rest of your day. Be kind to each other, animals and the planet, and as always, I'll see you again in the next one.